Hi, I'm Jess and behind the camera is Jonathan. Here I am today doing the weekly property check. So basically it's a matter of jumping on the ATV, driving around the area and just spotting what needs some maintenance. For example, we've got a lot of trees, in fact, which have fallen over, a lot of dry dead trees which are falling over in high winds and storms, lightning, that kind of thing. We've got a lot of fences which have been affected because of this. So part of my job here this afternoon will be to go around, see what needs to be done. We get Chris, one of our guys, out here on a weekly basis to chop up all that wood, so nothing will ever go to waste. One thing which I do want to do when I'm out here is go fossicking for pine cones, because if we chuck them on the fire inside, it's just going to give us that lovely, beautiful pine smell, which I think just makes for a really hearty, warming winter. So I'm going to turn this on and go and see what we can find. If I can turn it on.
Always that time.
Yeah.
So, as Jess has mentioned, we're just doing our boundary inspections, and also we've got internal fences here. This is a classic thing that happens. We've had some wind, it's obviously taken out one of the higher branches. The branch has landed directly onto the fence. We are running sheep in here at the moment and they haven't penetrated this fence, but we're just starting to clean up now. So everything gets chopped up. We're just starting to pile up the wood. We'll finish with this branch here, and then we'll probably have to come in here, straighten up this star picket. We're probably going to need to either remove it. If we have to remove it, that's actually quite a painful job. We'll have to break the wires, rejoin them. But this is just typical day in, day out farming. Wherever you've got older trees, gum trees, they do lose branches from time to time. There's a lot of ants sometimes that'll get in there, but also in the drought, some of these trees do get a little bit brittle, and gum trees are notorious for limbs just dying. But this is all great for us. This is probably a week's worth of timber here that we'll go through between the two fireplaces that we use here. We don't have access to natural gas or anything like that, like the city. So one of the big things that we need to do is we need to utilise the resources that we've got on the farm. We compromise as well. So when we lose major trees, we also do plant back trees. Similar to the gum trees, we usually get them as little seedlings. But as we go deeper into our property, we have about 15 hectares of natural bush. You'll see there's a lot of young gum trees in there. So it's not the bad thing. We try and use everything we can, but we do need to clean this up a bit. We need to fix the fence. We can't afford our sheep to get out. But the most important now is to just continue looking around it, especially at the border fences. We share a boundary fence with a vineyard. And we need to make sure that the sheep don't get in there, especially during the growing season. But also down the back, someone is also using their property to graze cattle, and it's unfair on us to use their grass if our sheep get out. So we need to make sure that from both parties that we're looking after that fence line, so their cattle don't get in, our sheep don't get out, and so that the hard labour that we're both putting into our pastures is well worth it. We haven't fertilised here in a while. It's something we'll probably do in the future, but it's also good for us just to see the condition of the property. We need to also have a look to make sure that we're not over-grazing. So at the moment you can see the grass is quite low, so we know that now we need to keep these sheep off. It's just starting to come back now. You can sort of see the new blades. Anything with a point on it is the new growth. The paddock here where the sheep are at the moment, you're not going to find a single blade that's like that, and it's quite low. So the sheep will continue to eat that down. They're now into a third paddock, which is at the very front, so we're going to let these two paddocks rest. Once they're finished devouring the grass at the front, we'll move them to the back, and then they'll come back into the paddock that we're standing in now, and then I'll switch over to here. So there's 4 paddocks that we're rotating at the moment, the largest being the back one, and the second largest being the front. So these two are much smaller, but they're a lot more convenient. We've got yards over here, and also we're in the middle of cleaning everything up, so you'll see the bit of a transformation happening here as we try and clean this area up. Eventually this will be the home to the pigs, actually, so we're actually trying to fix this area up. We're going to replace this fence in due course anyway with a much stronger version. for the pigs. So it's quite an interesting little area we're at, but this is just classic of what happens. We've just started to clean up. So we're going to continue on, see if we can find anything else, I don't know. So let's go and see what else we can find. So we're in the middle of an area on our property where it's got these massive 20-year-old pine trees. What we know about these pine trees is that we tend to find mushrooms growing underneath them. And the reason you get mushrooms growing under here is because of the thick bed of needles that's left. So with this being a typical site, usually you need about 20 to 30 years worth of this build-up in order for mushrooms to start to turn up. It's a bit dry at the moment. I think we're going to get some a bit later in the season as we start to get wetter. But normally now would be the mushroom time. We actually have some friends of ours, Finskys, and they are mushroom experts. So the girls are actually going to be doing some dinners with us during the Orange Frost Fest. So they go hunting for wild mushrooms. We haven't shown them our little secret place yet. They haven't shown us their secret place yet. But we're hoping though that we're going to have some amazing mushrooms ready. They're absolute experts in this stuff, and the food is to die for. So we're very excited about that. But just looking around, I'm excited to see that we've got all the hallmarks of some good mushroom growing area. Biggest concern, as always, is moisture with mushrooms. And as I mentioned before about those trees falling, this is also a good place to sort of show you. This is an example of gum trees just replacing themselves here. And we've actually got quite a few coming through here. These guys will start to grow up. We've noticed as we've tracked through, there's actually a really big growth of just small little tubes or tube size gum trees coming through. So the ones that are falling down because of their age are definitely getting replaced. We've got no plans to remove any part of our forest and our timbered area. We're simply just taking what's currently fallen down. And of course, just looking around, these are branches that have fallen down in the past. The ants get into them, the bugs get into them, everything breaks down. It's just one great cycle. So we haven't found any mushrooms yet. Hopefully we will. Plenty of these cones. What are these?
Pine cones.
Pine cones, that's right. Jess loves to get going. They crack and they pop on the fire. It's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful, beautiful scent. So we'll be taking back a few bags for the fireplace. We're going to continue travelling down and around the property and head back to the house after we've checked the fence. So we'll see what else we can find. If we can't find anything else, then we'll talk to you guys next time. We've got some exciting things happening, and we can't wait to share them with you.